Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back. Again, this is Digital Media Management 110 from the School of Adult Learning in the University of Indianapolis. Here is our second take. Again, we always take a break and come back and chat. And with us, we have the very cool Katie Vanderploeg. Katie, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Katie is, what's your title? Are you president or owner or CEO?
I'm all three.
All
so
three. Okay,
but yeah, I'm the owner. I started the business from the ground up, and I do most. I have employees, but I work with them, so I don't just delegate. I do the work too. So I wear a whole bunch of hats.
Cool. And what's the name of your business again, please?
K-Motion Design, and we specialize in web design, front-end web development, and if it's back-end, we do PHP.
Awesome.
So we can work with any CMS that is PHP-based. We also do graphic design, corporate identity, and motion graphics. Motion graphics would be like a commercial with nice text and cool effects in post-production. We don't actually do like the video recording. We do the post-production and the special effects. So we do a lot of different things here. So it keeps it interesting for sure.
That's awesome. So we've talked about websites, but like, can I ask, what is the core of your business? What do you find you would get the most business with?
Definitely websites. Lately, it's been WordPress and Shopify type of work, so CMS projects and e-commerce.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking here, so I guess you've kind of said it in a nutshell, but I mean, can you just tell the students here and we have some people watching us here live, also, what is it, if somebody would come up to you and ask you, oh, Katie, it's cool, what do you do? What would you say?
We make the web better, I would say that.
Okay.
We like to push the envelope, do things different, kind of make websites better for people to use. Make them prettier, not just prettier, but make them function well and make it so the user isn't frustrated. So we want to do it seamlessly, and it's equal on both ways. You can't have a pretty site and have it not function well, and you can't have a site that not function well and then look really bad. So we try to mesh both. And it's definitely a process that we have to get there, but that's what makes it interesting, and I think that's a lot of collaboration with our clients and internally with my team. We get a lot accomplished and therefore make websites better and try one by one. So
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you talk about your team. I know. Can you kind of explain the structure of K-Motion? How many employees do you have? What do you all do? I mean, you said that you do things, but I mean, obviously you're more of a supervisor, but yet you're also a tactician in there with them. Can you let us know about the dynamic of your company?
Yeah, we have 4 full-time. Our staff is 4 full-time employees, and one being myself. We have a full-time designer, a full-time developer, and a full-time designer/developer, one that can do both. So all of them are assets to our team, and we can't do work without either one, without anybody. So we use the designer for the design, and she takes us all the way through, like her and I work together, but we also pull in the development team to collaborate too to make sure what we're designing is feasible with the client's budget. You can design something really super cool, but then when you get into coding, it can totally blow the budget for the client, and or it could just be really complex. So we have to talk with everybody, and we have to make sure everyone's on the same page when we're in even the wireframe concept part of the project. So then by the time we get to coding, everyone's kind of in the know of what's going on. We're not just the developers aren't just throwing a design like, here, do this, when they know nothing about it. So we all try to work together to make sure from start to finish we're all in the know of what's going on, and we're within budget. And if we do go over budget, we try to inform the client that there's different things that we can do to make it stay in budget, and then maybe we can do things later. Because sometimes with websites, it's kind of like building a house. We always tell clients that you can build a house, but it's all the amenities and the cool little features that can make the price go higher. So if you're building a house and you want this marble countertop versus Formica, there's a little difference. You can put Formica in first, and then down the road put in, quartz or whatever you want. So it's kind of like a website. You build it, and every little feature you have, does increase the price a bit. So we try to work, with the design, with my designers and my developers, and make sure all of the little pieces that we're putting in are within budget, within timeline, and they work well. You can have a great design, but it just doesn't work. It kind of defeats the purpose. So that's kind of our goal, and that's how we all work together. And we just collaborate from start to finish on everything.
No, it's very cool. It's very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about your clients? Do you have large clients, small clients? Do you have people that are on retainer? Do you have people that you might just do one-off thing for? Can you just tell us a little bit about your client base and what you find that is here in West Michigan, in the Grand Rapids area?
Yeah, well, we do stuff actually in California too. So we kind of just started branching out into California. We have some clients out there, which is nice.
Nice.
Got a little business trip out of it, which is fun.
Yeah, go to Cali.
Yeah. But our clients, they range from small to Fortune 500. Amway is one of our biggest clients. Now we have, we do some stuff for the furniture industries here in Grand Rapids. There's a lot, so we've dabbled in most of them. Again, Mary Free Bread we're doing now. We've done stuff for educational. We do stuff for Grand Valley. We're currently working on projects for them, just a couple. We do stuff for startups. We have a brand named SheFit that we started from the ground up. We did their branding, their marketing designs, their website, their e-commerce, everything. Hang tags for the product. So that one was pretty successful. We also launched a Kickstarter for them to help fund their first round. If you guys are familiar with Kickstarter, it's like a crowdfunding website where people can get money for their startup. So we helped them raise $20,000 for that, just to help kick off their brand. That was successful. So we do anything from startups to large, huge companies. Again, we have a client in California who does, they do concrete landscape architecture. So they do stuff for Hollywood, for SeaWorld, Disney World, the W Hotel, MGM Grand, all of the places out in California. So we just did their website. We finished it in the spring, but we do maintain it. We update projects, so they're a consistent client with us. And we also do stuff for little mom and pop shops. I just did a website for a personal trainer, which is a 4-page website. It's small, but we do them, and they're fun. They're quick, and they're a way to kind of give back to the smaller companies too. So yeah, we do many things, and sometimes people just call us and they want a business card, so we'll just design a business card. So big or small, we do it all, and it's just part of what we do. We don't really turn down things unless they're too big, and we don't obviously know how to do it. Like if the website's written in a language we don't do, like an ASP, we have partner companies that we work with that can help with those type of software needs. And if we need a video or photography done, obviously, we can shoot photos here and there, but we're not photography. We're not a photography company. So we have all of our resources for anything that we need: 3D, photo, audio editing, audio composing. We have all of those resources at our fingertips. So if a client comes to us and needs those, we can direct them in where they need to go for those type of projects.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like with websites, we'll do a website. We'll build the site, design the site, but we won't do the photography. If they need a photographer, we can point them in a direction to one, or if they have one, they can use one. Same with music or video or whatever. So we have a solution for everything. Even if we can't do it, we find someone who can. So.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So, this class is the beginning of a new major at the University of Indianapolis, digital media marketing, and it's kind of broad-based. But I wanted to ask you, what is your background in? What did you go to school for? How did you train yourself in websites or this or that, or was it learned from college? How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I started out actually in high school, way back when. I I really liked working on websites and stuff. I just kind of did my own fun little websites, just for the fun of it. So I got an internship. Actually, it was more like a summer job because my boss at the time was pregnant, so I did everything for her. So I wouldn't say I was just an intern and helped people. I did everything from start to finish. And I did all HTML and websites. I mean, it was back in 2000 or 2001 when I did 2000. And so it was about 14 years ago. So the web has really changed since then. There was basic HTML with tables, but that's where your roots start. That's where I started, and I really loved it. And then decided, I want to go to school for this. So I went to Kendall in Grand Rapids, and I studied graphic design, but the major is called, it's changed now, it's like digital media now, but at the time it was just Bachelor in Fine Arts, which is graphic design. And you can either focus on print or multimedia, and I focused on multimedia, which is more web, digital stuff. I did a little bit of print. I opted out of all the 3D classes, the sound editing classes, because I figured, hey, if I'm going to be doing what I want to do, I'm going to opt out of the classes that I don't need, which I'm not recommending that to anyone, but it worked out for me, because then I got to take more classes in what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because if I'm paying for a class, it's something that I want to be engaged in. So
yes.
So I did a lot of independent study. So most of my classes were independent studies for Flash, because that was really popular at the time. I learned a lot of Flash. I learned database, PHP, coding, design, so a lot of web. So I would say independent study I learned the most out of, because I was one-on-one with a professor. And also I had a full-time job at a software company when I was a sophomore in college, sophomore and junior. So for 2 years I worked full-time. I went to school, I did the night classes, and just kind of worked. I didn't have a social life at all. I just worked and went to school, that's it. And it went running. That was my life for 2 years. Then the company kind of went under. They shifted priorities in management, so they all split and made their own companies. And I decided I'm going to go find another firm to work for. So I worked for another firm in Grand Rapids for about 2 years. I graduated and then continued to work for them after I graduated. And then I wasn't really that happy there, so I wanted to do my own thing, and I wanted to kind of choose my clients and start my own team and be. I like being the management role. I like to have my ideas, brought into fruition, and in a company I felt like it wasn't. So yeah, I hired my first employee about a year. Took me about a year to get some clients and get going, and then I got so busy that I had to hire Jess. She's my designer. She's been with me for almost 5 years now. Wow. And yeah, she's great. And it's great because my team, we're all like friends. We're all like, and it's hard to be a boss, but then be friends with them as well. It's a difficult balance, but we make it work. But we all just have so much fun. And so I've hired Jess after about a year, and then I hired a couple other people that didn't really work out, and then finally landed to our current employees that we've hired over the past year. And I think it's really working well. And I think we're a team of 4. We're small, and if we need to get bigger, we get bigger. But I just go with the flow. If we grow, we grow, and just trying to keep consistency and then getting better too. So, but I like to be small because I've heard that when you're big, it's a lot more taxing. So we'll see. Yeah, but that's kind of where I started and how I got where I am now. and a lot of it networking helps, and just getting good client relationships and treating clients like their client or like a friend, and kind of just having a good relationship versus just someone that you call and someone that's just a number. We like to be really close to our clients and kind of be like a little family, like a team. We like to work like a team. I even call my clients, "Hey team," because we work as a team. You can't work together if we're not communicating. So even though they're not part of my K-Motion team in-house, they're still a team to us, you know, because they help us, we help them, and everything works out. So.
No, I absolutely agree as one of your clients right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I refer to you guys as team all the time.
Yeah. So part of this class, the students have to create a WordPress website, because I want them to get into the basics of just what is a CMS, doing, you know, maybe just a little bit of SEO with like the SEO Moz widget or something like that. So just can you give an overview, you know, what do you think of WordPress? What do you think of the CMS system? And just kind of, you know, why do you use WordPress so much? You said that, you know, you've been kind of migrating to WordPress lately, and I know that our website, and I showed this picture to them. Yeah, buddy. Look at that beautiful website, homepage. It's awesome. I did show this to the students, but, you know, why WordPress? You know, what are your thoughts? They've heard what I've thought about it, and I'd like for them to hear your thoughts on it, please.
Yeah, we've actually been doing it for, I would say 2.5, maybe 3 years now, and we just had a lot of requests. Like, we went through a couple CMSs that were just not working, and we finally landed on WordPress, and we used it actually before, but I didn't like it because it was more for blogging at the time.
Yes.
And it actually has grown so much to be such a good, easy to use, easy to customize CMS platform, and it's you know, there's no licensing fee. It's open source. There are some drawbacks which I'll go over in a minute, but overall for our clients, I mean, I have big, you know, Mary Freeman's a big company, and we're using it. And I like it because it's very easy for the user to get familiar with updating your sites. And I've ran across so many CMSs where there's training, but the training is even difficult for people to even comprehend right then and there without knowing code. And the normal user does not know code. I mean,
not at all.
Even a link, or even like me being a coder, it comes second nature, but it really doesn't with a lot of people. And even just putting H1 tag, meaning it's a header style, they don't know it. They're not going to remember it. Even a bold tag, they're not going to remember unless they have a WYSIWYG, because people are used to WYSIWYGs. They're not used to manually typing things in. So we make it really easy to use WordPress, and there actually are ways that people build it that are really hard to update. So it goes hand in hand with who's developing it, because sometimes there's like this sidebar. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the UI of WordPress, but there's a sidebar, and there's, you know, you can edit a page, you can edit a post type, you can edit multiple sections of the site, and depending how you build it, it can be really difficult to update, because you have to do things here and there and there and there, and they all have to connect. So here at K-Motion, what we do is we build it in a way where it's super easy to edit. Everything's on one page. Sometimes you have to go here and there if there's a plugin or widgets, but we try to build it so it's super easy. And getting the right developer is key, because a lot of people like to use plugins. Plugins are great, but if you can avoid them and custom code things, that's the way to go, because it has less conflicting with other plugins that you're using, or conflicting with the jQuery that you're using. That's like a JavaScript. Sorry if I'm getting technical. But knowing how to code it, I think, is key. And but that's why I like it, because it's very customizable, and we can code whatever we want. And we can use fields and post types and connect things, and it's really easy, at least for us, to develop it. And therefore, it's easy for the client too, which is the most important. And we make it too where, like, some of our clients will build it, but yet they still don't have time to update their website. like our client in California, they're just so busy this month, but they're like, we need to update this information, but we just don't have time to go in. They know how to do it, but even for us, we can update it, but still it's cheaper for us to do the updates versus us hard coding it since we've done it in WordPress. All we gotta do is upload it. We don't have to manually do things in. So whether they're updating it or we're updating it, it costs them more up front, but for any type of editing that they have to do or we have to do, it's going to save them money then. So it's kind of a, it's a time saver and a money saver, just because the platform is so easy to use and it's versatile. So that's why we like it.
So you said you'd get into it then. My next question is then, what are the drawbacks? What don't you like about the WordPress content management system?
Some of the things I don't like, security. I mean, it's secure, but depending on your server or we like to use Rackspace because it's pretty secure. But some servers can get hacked. We just make sure to set you up the right way. And then there's plugins too that are incompatible. And then the only things I really don't like is when there's a new version of WordPress that comes out. You have to make sure before you hit update that all your plugins are compatible and that your code is compatible because the site can break. And so that's something I have to tell my clients is don't ever update your version of WordPress until you check with us so we can go through and make sure all your plugins are compatible. Because if they're not, you'll get a blank screen with text on it that says fatal error or something won't work, and it just breaks the code. So that's one thing I don't really like. Some CMSs that are all at once, they do version checks and make sure that everything. But those ones you have licenses for, like Kentico and stuff like that, you'll have to have a license for, and they get pricey, and the development costs a lot of money for those type of sites too because they're just so robust and big. Which they're great for certain things, but for a normal site, you don't really need all those bells and whistles.
Absolutely.
So yeah, compatibility, some security. I don't really like the spam bots for commenting. There's plugins you can use that get rid of the, if you have a blog and people are commenting on it, there's gibberish that gets posted. But there's ways of getting around it. They come back. You just have to keep working with those. There's always going to be technology. People are trying to hack stuff, but that's part of the web team. We check in with our clients. How's everything working? Do you have any errors on your sites? Technology has changed. We need to update things here for security reasons. So once we do a website, we're not bye, see you later. Have fun with your website. We like to check in.
Yeah.
We like to make sure things are running smoothly, and when things do come out, and when there was actually recently a Drupal and WordPress hack, or there was some type of hack that came in and redirected people to other sites. So, one of our clients, they didn't really notice it, but we were like, hey, we need to update your version. We're going to go in there. Your site might be down for like 1 second, but we reach out to them on things like that. But those are the only really downfalls that I have. It can get kind of frustrating sometimes when the versions keep changing. But again, it's not really an issue unless our clients hit update.
Yes, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're using this for this class is the students. Okay, so Nicole and Janet have to write blogs. They have to create an About Me page, and then I told them they have to create a third page, and that can be like favorite pics or videos or just about their favorite hobby, just so they can get the very overarching view of what WordPress is. We're going to create a page, we're going to create blog posts, things like that. Mm-hmm. So for their benefit, they're using the basic free, here's their username .wordpress.com site. So what would be some, just quickie, very just simple, beginning user, either, tricks of the trade or suggestions that you might have for the students?
It depends. If you guys are using a theme, are you using the theme that comes with it, or are you doing a custom?
They both have used a custom theme, so they both have a I mean, it's a free WordPress theme, but yes, they both have a theme on their
Okay.
sites.
So is there going to be development or more of just building onto an existing site?
Just building onto the existing site, just creating the page, creating the blog post, no development whatsoever, because this is a intro to the applications and stuff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So what I would suggest to you guys would be to do a wireframe. Before you get in there, have a plan of what you're going to do. Say, I want to do an about page. I want this text on here, this text on here, and it's going to link to this page, kind of like a tree, like a little sitemap of where you want things to go. Then you're going to open up under Appearance, Menus. That's where your menus will be. So you'll go in and edit. Maybe you'll put About Me, videos, and blog, and they'll link to the pages, and it'll have a little drop down on what page you want it to link to. So it'll be under Appearance on the sidebar, and then Menus. And then you're going to go to Pages, and you're going to hit Add Page. You name the page, and then again, that page will pop up as an option to add to your menu. So that's kind of just like a basic thing of how to add a page and link it in the menu. And then from there, you can add your content, your text, and I always suggest doing a backup. There's a backup called DB Backup. It's free, and so if you guys are doing a blog and it crashes or something, it automatically emails you a database backup file that you can always refresh so your content doesn't get lost. So that's always what I do first, just in case I mess up on something. I need to go back and refresh the old version. So that's always something that you should do first, is create the backup plugin. Just in case you mess up, you can always start back where it was working right. Because you never know with WordPress. Sometimes you can hit something and then it goes down. So those are some tips for you guys. And then you can get into, later down the road, once you guys get into it, you can add styles and start, changing your headers and all of that stuff. But that's a little bit more in-depth. But you can add links, and your featured image would be an image that pops up in your blog post. You can do sidebars. It would be under Appearance Widgets, so you could put like an image on your sidebar. You could put sub-navigation on your sidebar.
Now, just real quick to go in, Katie. Now, if you guys go to my personal blog site, like I was telling you guys, Janet Nicole, if you go to benreisinger.com, you'll see I have a sidebar on the right side, and this is what Katie is talking about right now. And I have my Twitter handles, I have my Instagram feed, I have a search, things like that. So that's what she's explaining to you, and I was explaining to you about the widgets.
Yep.
Carry on.
And you can do archives. If you wanted to put it by month, you could do, there's a little archives widget that is just default with WordPress, and you can, so if someone goes to your blog and they want to see stuff that you posted in July or June.
I have that on too.
Yeah. So just those little features, just play around with it and have fun with some plugins too. A lot more free, and like a photo gallery plugin, you can just pop in there. There's good documentation. Documentation means like instructions on them, and go on reviews. Look before you install plugins. Look at reviews. Make sure everyone's happy with it. If it has a 1-star, obviously you probably don't want to download that. And then make sure it's compatible with the version of WordPress that you're using. So if you're using the brand new version of WordPress, make sure you're using one that's compatible, or else it might throw some errors or not work.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you this then about websites. You've told us a little bit about everything, and I love it. Thank you so much. But just how important is a website today? How important is having a website, not only for a business, but like for your personal type of branding? To you, what are your thoughts on how? I mean, let me ask you this: do you have a personal website, or do you just have your business website?
I just have my business website because that's where I want everyone to go.
Of course.
For life. But my Facebook page would be considered my just personal stuff, and that's just for people who know me. I don't really want everyone to see me as me. If they need to see me in the public, it'd be my work. That's just myself out there is me as K-Motion Design. So that's why I don't really have a personal site. I don't really, it would be pictures of my daughter, my family. So that's just where I just put that stuff on Facebook, so it's more private. But if I did have a personal site, you know, you know, if you guys are promoting yourself for something, I think that's what it would be for. If I had a blog, I did have a blog actually for a while. I'm a fitness. I like to work out and I like to run and eat healthy, organic stuff. So I'm really passionate about all of that type of stuff. So at one point I did have a website. It was just people who wanted to follow my blog about fitness tips, nutrition, how to avoid, like, you know, non-organics, GMOs, and all that stuff. Like, all of that stuff was on my blog, but I was just so busy with work, and then I had a baby, and so I really didn't have time to update it. So I didn't want a blog that had posts from like a year ago, so I just removed it. But that was, you know, I did have some followers, and that was something that I was passionate about, and I really wanted to share it with people. So if you guys are passionate about something, whether it's, you know, horseback riding, working out, you're an artist, all that stuff, that's a great way to get followers, connect it. You know, you can connect a blog to anything. You can connect it to Facebook, to Instagram, to Foursquare, to Twitter, all that stuff. So you can get followers from all of those different avenues to follow your blog. And, you know, there's a lot of people who are just, even musicians, like musicians who have their own little website and they have these Facebook or these YouTube videos, and then someone picks them up. And all that they started with was just a website that fed their YouTube videos. And now, like, one was Justin Bieber, right? That's one of them. He just started with a personal website. So it can get you pretty far if you're promoting yourself for something. And especially, like, if you're getting a job, like, for when I'm interviewing someone, if someone does not have a website, I don't say I won't hire them. It's just I feel like I like to see what they put into the website, especially coming to a web company. You should have a website, just to see a little bit of a taste of who they are and a little bit of their style, their coding style. And if they built it themselves, then that's a huge plus, versus just using something that builds it for them. So all of those things, you know, with hiring, I make sure they have a website. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be a little bio, a little snippet of your work, or a link to your Behance page or whatever you do, or a link to your Tumblr account with posts of your work, and then put a resume on there. You know, if someone emails me just a resume, then I'll be like, well, what's your website? That's the first thing I say before I even read the resume. What's your website? But that's just because I'm in the website industry. If you're coming for a website job, you should have a website.
Yeah, that's like kind of a, you know.
I know, but you'd be surprised. There are people out there, but so I think it's important, and it's just for me right now. I just don't have a personal one. I just don't really have time because I build websites all day. So, and I mean, our company website's still under construction because we're so busy with our clients' websites, which is a good problem to have. But
Yes.
We are currently working on our company's website, which is in the works, but it looks like it'll probably be 2015 when we'll be launching. But it's okay.
Right on.
We put our clients first, so.
Sure, that's good, man. That's good. You got to have a business to stay in business.
Yep. So.
All right, so another big thing we were talking about with websites and this and that was mobile.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mobile. I mean, and again, I'll tell you guys, this was a large part of the reason that we hired Katie and her company at Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital. Our website that we currently have at maryfreebed.com is in no way, shape, or form mobile. And going from 15% mobile to 45% mobile in 1 year is a no-brainer. So, what are your thoughts on mobile? And what do you think about mobile technology, and what's the future of that with websites?
Oh, mobile has grown so much in the past. I think 2 years. Before 2 years, it was. Am I echoing?
Yeah, I hear. I think so. Did somebody turn your volume up? No. When I talk, I can hear myself. Somebody's
I don't know. There's like a. I'll just keep going.
Okay.
Pretend I don't hear it. All right. So mobile has really grown the past 3 years. 2 years, 3 years. Kind of a mix. It's since the iPhone came out, and so the iPhone kind of started it all. I mean, I started doing mobile way back when I was in college. Believe it or not. It had a little Nokia phone, and I did an app for it. It was like a music, it was called like TrackBack. And so what it was connected with the radio stations. And so this is when I was working at a company called Nowhere.
Hey, hold on. Okay, so I think this is somebody's having their volume a little bit loud. So what happened when we started reverbing? Ken and Nicole, you guys have the volume down a little bit. Or Katie?
My volume is down all the way.
Okay, so I think it's coming. Let me turn my volume down too, just to make sure. On mine. Okay. I still hear it, so I think it's either Janet or Nicole. Did you guys turn your volume up for a chance?
No, everything's there's like no delay or anything for me. Nothing sounds weird.
Oh.
It might, yeah. Google Plus Hangouts. Sometimes it's a little wonky because it's wonky technology.
All right. Let me
Sounds weird.
Say that again, Janet.
I can hear Nicole fine, but you two are each other.
Can I leave the call and join it?
You can. Sure. Why does this start happening? All right, Katie's gonna come back. I still hear that reverb.
You're still. That's weird.
It very well could be. Sometimes that just happens. Katie's back.
I'm back. Echoing still.
Okay. Try to continue. We'll see how this works.
Okay. So it's hard to hear myself. I'll turn my volume down. So ever since the mobile, so back in, where was I? Nokia. I'll talk slow. So the Nokia, I actually built an app for that back when I worked at the company that I worked for when I was in college. And it was a little app called TrackBack or something like that. And it was connected with the radio stations. And so whenever you would hear a radio or a song playing on the radio station, it would pop up on, or you could go on and see the playlist from the day on the FM radio station. So at the time, it was like super cool because there was no Shazam or anything like that, or even, I mean, there was Napster, but there wasn't like Spotify or anything like that. So that was kind of cool. And so I helped design all of that. I didn't build it, but I designed it. And the screen was super small. It was like the size of like, it was like if I was to take it in inches, it'd be like 2 inches by 2 inches. That's the size of the screen. So that was interesting to try and fit every little thing on that tiny, tiny screen. Actually, maybe it was like 3 inches by 2 inches. So that was like my first encounter with mobile, and then the shift came once the iPhone came out. So we had this huge, now this huge screen. So we started doing things with that and trying to get clients to want to move their sites into mobile. And it was kind of a slow process to get people to move into doing responsive because it was such a new technology and people didn't really want to spend the money for it because they have analytics and like we're only 2% on mobile. But then all of a sudden after like a year, now it's like some websites are 75% mobile viewers.
Wow.
So it was this huge switch. So now everybody all of a sudden is like, oh, I want responsive, I want responsive, and so we're, a lot of us, sometimes we just build the website all over again. It's actually more cost effective sometimes, just to get a refresh anyways. Or sometimes we'll just take an existing site and make it mobile, which is a little difficult because it's built with older technologies. But sometimes we make it work. But that's a huge thing. And if I'm viewing a site and I have to pinch and zoom, I'm gonna maybe go to a different site that I can navigate better. Or I just get frustrated, or I bookmark it for when I get home. Or sometimes I just want an address to get somewhere. If I'm going to a restaurant and it's not even responsive, I have to pinch, click on contact really small, find the address, copy it, and then go to my Google Maps and paste it. When I just want to click on an address and have it open my Google Maps instantly, which is so much work sometimes. So it's just making it easier and being able to watch a video right from a phone versus, oh, it's in Flash, I can't view it, I have to wait till I get on my computer. So just making things seamless, and navigation, having buttons be large enough for your fingers. Again, the pinch and zoom is not friendly. Some people think it is, but I don't think it is. Mm. Also, there's the whole page load too. The thing with mobile is try to keep everything on one page. So now, if you've seen a lot of sites where it's one long home page where you just keep scrolling, it's because people are kind of switching directions. Before, websites where I want everything above the fold. I don't want to have to scroll to see where I'm going. Well, now people are so used to doing the scrolling on their screens that it doesn't matter. I just want to get where I'm going. I don't care if it's above the fold. So now we're building sites differently, and it also reflects on the desktop. Some desktops you scroll to see it, but it's more of an experience now. And not everything's just thrown on the home page right above the fold. With the fold meaning before you have to scroll. So it opens up the space a lot for more white space, and it makes it easier to navigate a site versus one site with stuff thrown all over it. It's an experience. You go through from the top, you kind of experience the company a little bit about us, and if you want more information, click on buttons for more information versus trying to decode a homepage. And so that's kind of how it is on mobile too. It carries right over. And on mobile, I just want to select where I'm going, and I want to click it. I don't want to have to load a new page. Just expand it for me. So instead of clicking and going to a new page, you can just expand it and show more information, and then close it back up like an accordion, or open a light box like in Facebook when you click on an image. You're not refreshing a whole page, just opening it. And we're done viewing the image. Just the accident closing you back to where you are. You don't have to keep hitting back. We're trying to load things on one page at a time without it being a slow load. You don't want to load too much stuff. But trying to avoid page reloads and hitting back. That's kind of important to keep the user engaged and on mobile, and it saves your data rates too, not having to load a page over and over again. There's a lot I could go in for hours about mobile, but those are just the key things I think that have switched for design and functionality. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, mobile really is the future, and I think you kind of would agree with me with that. I mean, everybody just sits around on their phones or their tablets now and just flips through. It is about 8:18. So Nicole and Janet, do you guys have any questions for Katie? Anything about websites or WordPress or mobile?
No, I don't.
Cool.
I kind of related, but how you said you work with small businesses to Fortune 500s, or a few of those. What is your how much time do you spend on each of those, and how long does a project take and stuff like that for you guys?
It depends. If it's a small site where there's an about page, a gallery, if it's responsive, that takes a little bit more time. because we have to design it for each screen size. We don't just say, okay, we're going to flip a switch and it's automatically going to be on mobile. We have to actually design it for all of the scenarios to make it user-friendly. So all that takes time. So if it's a small site, I would say it could take 2 months. But if it's a large site, we have to do concepting, we have to collaborate with the clients, there's meeting times involved, there's some back and forth, and then there's design, reviews, and after reviews, then we go into approvals, any edits, and then we go into coding, and then after the coding, then we'll go into WordPress, then responsive. So it's a step-by-step process. So a site could take, a small site could take 2 months, but a large site like Mary Free Bed could take 8 to 12 months, all depending on feedback from the client, how many templates there are, how much stuff we need to design. So it's definitely not an overnight website. So if you want an overnight website, good luck. Yeah.
Sure. And what makes Katie different, I want to explain this to you guys. Katie's company or firm, they do not use the themes like what we're using, like what I use and what you use. Katie custom designs all of her builds, straight for that client. Am I right in saying that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah, we sometimes use templates if the client has one and they need help with it. We'll jump in and help them. But we're a custom shop. You'll come to us for custom stuff. If you want a template, you can go in and do it. But they're paying us to do something that no one else has, and so you get what you pay for. If you want this certain functionality and you can't get it through a theme, and you're frustrated with the theme because some other person has it, or 50 other people has the same theme, then you're kind of stuck. So people come to us for custom solutions, and companies don't like to have the same thing as another company. You want to set yourself apart, so that's why people come to us, I think.
So since you said there's the 4 of you, do you guys disagree and kind of go back and forth with each other to, until you get something that you approve all together?
We actually, we're kind of weird where my designer Jess, in the beginning, yes, because I had to kind of form her to what she is now. But now we read somebody's mind, like, oh my gosh, I was totally thinking of this, or we have an idea and she goes in concepts and I concept. And we kind of come together with our ideas, and sometimes we have the same idea. It's ridiculous. So when you work with a team for such a long time, you just kind of get each other, and our coder, Tyler, who's fairly new with us, but he's starting to just kind of that works great. But actually for Mary Free Bed, just today, we have, in the mobile version, we have this certain drop-down menu, and Jess designed it, and all of a sudden Tyler comes and is like, let's just use this menu. We were going to use a side menu and then a drop-down, and we just decided to use the side menu for all the mobile because Tyler's like, we could do this and this and this, and he was just kind of showing us things that he could do. And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. So we did shift. We had this idea and it was working. We found something better that one of our team members suggested, so we just went with it, which then you'll see on Friday. I think you'll be happy with it. But so we all sat around the table and said, I think we just need to switch it. And Jess was like, are you sure the client will be okay with it? I'm like, I'm sure the client will be okay with it because it's better. It's a better solution and it's easier to navigate. So if they don't, we can go back to the way. But I have to make the executive decision of, we're still in budget, so before we get too down the road with something that is good and there's a better way of doing it, let's switch directions and do it the better way. But yeah, that idea came from the other team member. So there wasn't really a disagreement, but we agreed with one of the other team members that let's do it your way. It seems better. So yeah.
Very nice. Any other questions from you guys? No? All right. Katie, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome, and you know, hearing from other people besides just me sitting here jabbering into a webcam is a lot more fun for the students than just hearing, you know, my opinion and stuff. And I mean, you're better looking than I am anyway, so that's cool. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it, and you know, I'll let you know if where can they find you if they want to chat with you or see your tweets or this or that. You know, what's your
I've already
website,
put
what's
her
your
up
Twitter
on
handle, things like that.
Facebook.
Yeah, it's just go to K Motion Design. It's KMOTION, so K and then motion design.com. And then if you scroll to the very bottom of the page, and maybe even on the top, you'll see our Twitter feed, our Twitter handle. You click on it, it'll take you to our Twitter page. We're kind of active on it. We post maybe 5 posts a month, so not every day. And then our Facebook. Is on there, and our Behance page where all of our where all of our work, not all of our work, but some of our work is on. We have to update it. So those 3 are our main go-tos for social stuff. So.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm going to actually hit stop broadcast here. So, hey, everybody on the interwebs, thanks for being with us today, and we will see you next Wednesday, and we'll talk more about digital media marketing.